You're listening to The Upland Rookie, a podcast presented by Upland Brits. Welcome to the Upland Rookie Podcast. I am your host, Will Larson, and as always, this is presented by Upland Brits. Well, this is episode 22 of the Upland Rookie Podcast. I'm super excited. We're going to try to keep this intro a little bit brief. But first, I want to thank Eukanuba Sporting Dog, Trinity Bretons, and Pointer Traditions. Today I'm joined with my good buddy, Jeremy Lowry, and you might remember Jeremy from episode 1 of the podcast. What are you doing over there?
I didn't want to make background noise.
Golly, just sit your ass down. My God. This is day 4? 3.
3.
This is day 3 of our Montana trip. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Anyways, so yes, thank you to all the sponsors of the podcast, first and foremost. We're going to do a quick recap on our North Dakota, Montana trip so far. Again, we're not going to have this be too long, but wanted to kind of give you a little insight on what our trip's been like. But first, Jeremy, how about that bird strap we used yesterday from Pointer Traditions?
It was heavy.
It was heavy.
It was a nice bird trap.
It was a very nice bird strap. We were able to get a limit of Sharpies on there and a few Huns, right?
Yeah, two, three.
Yeah,
2 or 3 Huns.
That was really cool. I've never actually used a bird trap before. Have you?
No, my tailgate works pretty good. But those look a lot nicer.
Of your Dodge?
Yeah, Ram.
You mean Dodge, right?
Ram.
Okay, well, we've been having a debate all week on if his truck is a Ram or a Dodge. I will forever say it's a Dodge Ram.
But
that's
it's not.
just how it's made. But anyways, I'm a Ford guy.
Forever wrong.
We're kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of ready to find a new friend, but that's just me.
Yeah, we might need a break.
we might need to break this. So, Jerem, what in your words sum up this trip so far? Like, what's it been like up here in North Dakota? Opening of grouse in the last
honestly,
few days.
Last year was good, and somehow, with all the drought and everything, this year might top it. I mean, it's been...
Really?
We haven't been skunked once. We thought we were. We walked 14 miles-ish, probably, no birds.
Something like that.
Went back out and got limits, so...
That was pretty awesome.
Ride.
So let's actually just kind of dissect each of the days real quick. Let's go over some of the highlights. So day 1, which was Sunday here, at least when I get up here.
Yep.
I got skunked in Colorado. Came up here earlier than I thought, which was a very good decision.
Yeah, it was.
I think so. I called you. I was sitting in I just finished sage grouse hunting in Colorado. Called Jeremy. We were kind of talking, and I was like, man, should I just come up here now, or should I wait and hunt another day? And you didn't answer my question at first.
No.
And then I came to the realization, I said, you know what? I'm just going to get my butt up here to Montana and North Dakota early and go from there. So I'm glad I did. But let's go back to Sunday, if we can remember back that far.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday. First field. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So you did some scouting, right? Before.
Sort of. I went out opening day with no game plan, drove around forever, and finally found this little piece and ended up finding the largest hun covey I've ever found. Lucky for you.
So we hit that opening morning for me on Sunday. And we got into a couple pheasant, right?
Yep.
Pretty quick.
Yep.
Dogs pointed.
They were flying out when we got out of the truck.
Yeah, pretty much. We were yelling and hooting and hollering and all that good stuff. So, but then so we did that. We did a loop around this little slough. Came into a hun covey, which kind of surprised us. We weren't really ready for it. Dogs weren't ready for it.
Yeah, we were upwind. Dogs definitely bumped that one, I think.
So this covey flushes. I'm all excited. I knew we were chasing huns, but again, it surprised me because
we'd walked pretty much the whole slough without seeing a bird, so we were kind of like, okay, they're not here today.
Yeah, and this is getting up. So they flushed, and then they went into was that a pea field or?
There's wheat on the side we were on.
So they flew into wheat. Take us through it. How did it unfold?
Oh, geez. Well, we had a couple...
I'm asking you because I don't remember.
Yeah, we had a couple quick flash points, And then, not the best dog work, but we were in shooting range, and Big Cubby gets up. I think you'd already... Oh, yeah, you got him off the first flush. You got one. I ran to the truck to grab Penny to get her a quick little run.
Okay,
my
I
Brittany.
forgot. So I did get the shot, took that bird down, all excited. You got excited. You're like,
So you shot two without me while I was gone.
Yeah, so
Pretty
you
rude.
were going to get... I mean, birds were in the air, so... So you were at the truck real quick. Why did you go get Penny?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I just remember we shot that one. We're all excited.
Yeah.
We walked... We didn't even pick that bird up yet. We knew it was down.
Yeah.
We were chasing the covey. You went to the truck. I continued on with
Oh, yeah, I said, let's come back.
Gage
That
and
bird's going
Banks.
to be there
Yeah.
when we get back. Gotcha.
And he's at the truck, and then did I double on that covey when you were gone? Yeah, I think I did double.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I shot my first limit with you not even by my side.
Yeah.
Which was kind of sad.
That's how good I am.
Okay, good. So doubled on that one. Gage, he worked him well. We got a retrieve. So I got my limit, and then we kept chasing them once you got back with Penny.
You did get a limit. Yep.
I got my limit there. And then we finished chasing them. Had all three dogs down.
Yep.
Yeah, all three
Penny,
dogs down.
Gage, and Banks. The pup.
Yes, because you had Banks out with Gage originally.
Yep.
So, yeah, he was out. But anyways, we found the rest of the covey. It was decent size.
Oh, yeah.
And,
a lot of young birds, but it was a good size covey.
Young birds. We had one mature-ish bird in that covey we shot. Maybe two. And, so you finished your limit then, right after that.
Yep.
And this is like...
I got a double.
Yes, you got double. No, I think we had two different opportunities.
You didn't limit out at first. You got two because... Remember, I shot the double and you shot. We thought you missed. Gage took off 60 yards.
Yeah.
And
okay.
you're beeping him to come back because we thought you missed.
You're right.
And out of nowhere, we're like, does he have a bird? So then you come back with a bird we didn't even know we had shot. Yeah. And that's when you got your limit.
Yes, thank you. All this is blending together.
It's coming back.
That was a super big highlight because, like you said, that was
one of the most amazing retrieves I've seen.
I didn't think the bird went down. Gage took off, crossed the road, out of sight. I was like, oh, crap, like he's either chasing or doing something weird. And, comes back.
Yeah, I thought he was just chasing the covey, honestly.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
That's a special moment that definitely stuck out to me from day one. From there, we had some weather come in. We had rain. It was kind of nasty.
It was a wet day.
It really was. Sure. Definitely a nasty day. We went and chased Sharpies then.
Yep.
And... We found them. We
eventually.
Yeah. after a lot of walking, it took us some time. Went through a couple dogs.
And I don't know if it was the rain, but they seemed spooky.
They were.
And I've done, like I said, I've been hunting the day before and the whole week in Montana, and I haven't had very spooky birds. But these ones, I don't know if it was the rain, but everything was making them fly.
Like you said, maybe not the best dog work day one.
Yeah.
I think my dogs especially, it was taking them
a little bit to warm up.
Taking them a while to figure out Huns for sure. Even Sharpies in this country. It was just different and new, and they were trying to figure it out. So definitely wasn't getting the best dog work. But out of that field we were in, we took two Sharpies. Two Sharps, I think. Yep. It was fun. It was good cover. We were looking for the Russian sage? Olive. Russian olive. We were looking for that. And there was
birds in it, not as much this time of year, but they were still hanging around.
Definitely. So
we actually bumped them in that corn, that random, tiny little piece of corn, weirdest thing I've ever seen.
And at the top of a hill.
And it was some bad looking corn, but corn
at the top of it. It was such a weird, and that's where they were on the edge of that.
It was
which
weird.
I guess a good food source, right?
Yeah, I mean the birds were there.
And all week we've been seeing more hoppers than I heard that there was a lot of hoppers.
Every crop
up here.
has just been like a balloon full of hoppers. They're eating a lot of them, even the Huns.
I knew there was a lot up here, but there's a lot up here. There's like walking, and they just explode and start jumping.
My bumper's looking rough.
Yeah. So that was day one. That was super fun. And then day two, that was yesterday,
Day one, we went back out and hit those Huns.
We did.
In Montana. Or no, it was Montana because we limited here.
Yes. Yeah. So got into more Huns that night, which that was a blast. Huns, Sharpies are still my favorite bird.
Yeah, we missed Sharpies that night.
That's right.
They flew over onto the private. So.
That's right. Sharpies are still my favorite. but Huns are a close second.
It's fun because you get multiple attempts. You don't go too far.
I know.
You can get one or two and move on.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
I was super excited. I love those birds. And then day 2, let's go over that. Things started to click a little bit.
Day 1 felt good.
Day one felt great.
Beginning of day 2.
Beginning of day 2 was rough. It started out really rough. We went pretty much all morning, all afternoon with no birds, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Didn't
seen one hun covey that was
out of range.
Dog put up on private property, I think.
It was not great.
Dog can't read signs. I'm trying to teach her that.
I mean, Banks can.
Yeah.
we have some question for Banks later, don't we?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So we're a little bummed. I mean, I was a little bummed. But
I was losing faith in my guiding skills for sure.
I thought you're not a guide, though.
I'm not.
Okay. I mean, we still had fun, though, because the fields, here's the thing. The fields we hit, we were super excited about.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I've already hunted all those fields that morning.
You knew where the birds...
very good luck.
And you knew where they should be.
Oh, yeah.
And so we went into every field with, like, high anticipation. Dogs definitely got birdie in some spots. So we knew they were there. I think our timing might have just been off.
Oh,
it had to.
Can only assume.
It had to have been. So we came back, did a quick lunch, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, quick lunch yesterday. Trying to recap this day. It was a blur. Nighttime is when things...
wanted to squeeze in a 2-3 hour hunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a flurry. It was a flurry.
It got really western.
Very quickly.
Yeah, shots were flying.
So first we ran into that hun covey.
Yep.
You made an incredible shot. That was because
it felt like I was shooting a dove. That was the highest flying overhead hunt I've ever shot.
It's like you were shooting a duck or something.
Yeah, I've never had my gun pointed that high at a bird.
Covey flew basically back over us.
Yep.
Craziest thing, I thought they were going to fly away from us, but no, they made a circle, came over our heads.
They were on the edge of where they wanted to be, for sure.
I missed the whole covey. Majority of the covey was on my side. 2 shots.
Yeah, you didn't even know I'd shot one.
Nothing. You took that one down really nice.
Yep.
We recovered that bird, working an edge of a crop next to grass, right?
Yeah, wheat field.
Yeah, wheat field.
Unharvested wheat field.
Right.
Yep.
And so we're working that back, and we were kind of itching to go back to Montana for an evening hunt.
Yep.
We were like, hey, let's kind of hurry back to the truck. That's probably all that's here.
Yeah,
let's
push
go.
this edge, but no, kind of hurry. Yep.
Yeah. And we're working the edge, and then Gage, he's acting birdie. He's getting on.
He's a little behind us.
Yeah, a little behind us.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to come with us, really.
Yep.
A little behind us, doesn't really want to come. I'm like, come on, dude, come on, let's go. Kind of really takes off on his own then, and locks in a point on a point.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but this little area, it came to a point. He locks up. And we're like, he's had a couple false points, pointing some Tweeties.
Till this point in the trip, he wasn't really zoned in. It was 50-50 if there was going to be birds there.
I wasn't super confident. Maybe you probably weren't confident at all.
No.
And so we're like,
I hadn't seen his true potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Instagram can be full of lies.
It finally came out. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad it hit. Yeah. So we walk up, and he's holding steady, and
Banks is backing.
Oh, Banks
Always.
did back that.
That dog,
okay,
it's incredible.
Real quick, that dog, every time Gage points, Banks backs.
Anytime a dog stops, and for anything,
takes a potty break.
He just loves the bag.
That's just all natural, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know. Everything's natural.
That's crazy.
He does.
That's
I haven't
crazy.
been working on bird work.
And he looks good backing. He looks really good backing.
Yeah.
I really like that. So it's been fun to see. A dog goes on point. Dog does something.
Yeah.
Banks is like, all right, time to stand still.
Yeah.
It's been really fun.
Creep when no one's looking.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He's like,
look at him, statue. Turn around,
totally.
baby steps.
I mean, he's figured it out, so it's good.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 Sharpies flush. Could not have been more picture perfect. You took left, I took right, 1 shot.
Awesome.
Birds went down.
Gage gets yours. I'm pretty sure Banks went, and I don't think he brought that one back, but he went.
He went and found
sure.
yours.
Yep.
He went and found yours, which was awesome.
And he might have brought it back halfway.
Yeah, it's
progress.
This is a podcast. We can say whatever we want. So
Progress. Yeah.
they brought every bird back. Yeah,
Yeah. Perfectly to hand.
Perfectly.
They threw them right in the pouch.
They pointed every bird. Don't believe what we say. Don't believe everything you see online either. That's a
Yeah, we had a long talk about that.
that's a good lesson. Instagram.
My dogs are far from perfect.
Yeah,
very far, but we have fun.
I'm not going to make the post that says I shot a limit of birds, and my dog pointed them perfectly.
Yeah. Birds are wild.
Not going to say that. Things
My dog
happen.
tries, but
My dog tries really hard. But anyways, that was really exciting. We were both jacked. And Gage just kind of continues on. Banks is working, and they're acting super birdie. And we're like, all right, like, screw the truck right now. Let's just try this a little bit. Let's see where they're going. And 2-3 minutes later, locks up again.
yeah, because we got those 2 Sharpies, and we said, okay, this is cool for this field. Let's go to Montana and see if we can't get some more birds.
Yeah.
That had to be all the birds because
Yeah.
we covered everything. So they snuck in behind us.
Yeah. And
There's no way we walked by them.
This is a good lesson. Always trust your dogs.
Yeah.
Like, because we were physically, you and I were talking.
I wasn't
like,
going to walk down there and being...
No.
I took that video because I was like, I'll
Yeah.
just video him from up here. Honestly, I don't think it's a bird.
He doesn't trust my dogs. I don't know why.
It was day 2. He was just getting in the zone.
The next beautiful point
The
he
next
had.
15 minutes that unfolded, I have
Yeah.
full confidence in Gage.
He just, the only way I can describe it is he went on like a rampage.
Yeah, he was finding every bird in that field.
Bird, and it wasn't like just one massive covey and we limited out. It was like found 2 birds
Yeah.
plus we shot down, and we just
2,
repeated
1,
that.
2, yep.
Repeated that cycle. We got into Sharpies, and then we refound the hun covey, the big hun covey. Remember?
Yeah, there was huns coming up with Sharpies in that one. Yeah, it was...
Yeah.
it was
So it was a mix of Sharpies, and it was just this pattern of point, birds flush, shoot, retrieve, refine.
Point, back,
So by the time
shoot,
we're getting
retrieve.
birds in our vest, dogs are locked up again, birds are flushing. It was exciting. Like, it was like a rush.
Will looked like I don't know, really excited schoolgirl. I'm not gonna lie. He was having a good time.
I still am.
I was too. I love it.
It was fun. It was exciting. It was fast paced.
Yeah.
We were just.
That was surprisingly my first limit of Sharpies.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In North Dakota.
And so remember the Huns got up? Oh no, Gage is bringing a retrieve back. He dropped it.
Yep.
I went to go find it. I don't know why. I gave you my gun, right?
yeah, because you wanted to have him. He dropped it or something. And
Yeah,
you
I don't know
wanted him to
why I
pick it
gave you
back
my
up.
gun though, but
Yeah, don't do that.
for whatever reason. So I'm going to look for the bird a little bit. And again, dogs are hot at this point.
Yeah.
They were warm. They were working hard. Anyways, I'm going to find the bird, and more Huns get up.
I wish I had a video of
And
the look on my
the Huns
face.
get up. I realize I don't have my gun. I look back at Jeremy, and the guns are basically.
I go to like aim and then somehow realize, oh crap, I have 2 guns. I can't shoot.
I'm like, you shoot? No, you can't. Okay.
Yeah, the look on my face had to have been priceless.
It was pretty. I wish I had a video for that. 'Cause just looking back at you, going like, I can't help you.
Yeah.
You can't help me. Like,
Too far away.
and there goes these
Which gun do I throw?
these beautiful hunts. I'm surprised you didn't throw a gun down. Actually,
Yeah, well, not the
probably
safest thing in the
that's
world.
probably safer. Yeah. Anyways, so that was a fun moment.
Yeah.
So, anyways, got some Huns, had some Sharpies in the bag at this point. I don't think we limited on Sharpies yet, because remember we started walking back towards
That yeah, when we got the 2, walked back,
Yeah.
flushed some Sharpies. I believe we both shot it when one went down when those Huns went up.
Yes.
And then a couple singles popped up. That's when I had the gun.
Yeah.
Then we decided to go to Montana. We had birds.
Yeah. Because we limited out.
Yep. And he ran back down for that long back.
Yep.
Where I took the video and ended the video because there was no bird. Well, there was in fact a bird, and that's when it got western.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was maybe the most fun hunt of my life.
Yeah.
That like 30.
I remember the
45
last
minutes.
point, and Bird's getting up, and you're about to shoot. I was like, "Don't shoot! You got a limit." He's like, "No, I got 2." I was like, "You got 3?"
Yeah, I got 3. I know.
We lost track of how many birds we had.
I'm glad someone was there with me because that was a good check and balance because it was such an exciting time
Birds
that
were
you
flying.
forget. Okay, how many do I have in my vest? Like, okay, 3. Okay.
And now we know both vests will hold at least 3 Sharpies
Oh, easily.
and a Hun.
Easily. So yeah, that was yesterday. That was a fun day.
Yeah, it was a
It
good
started
time.
rough. We walked a lot and we ended it on a
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it that afternoon, but
yeah.
after the first bird contact, you get all your energy back.
Ended on the high note. And then today, this is mid-afternoon right now on Tuesday. And this morning,
3 o'clock.
got out to Montana, got on some Sharpies early. Penny had a nice retrieve for you.
Yeah, she bumped a bird, came back, upwind, bumped them, and we shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got one.
Yep. Yeah, you got the first one. I took a far shot that I shouldn't have. I wasted 2 of my shots. That was a single.
Yep.
I shot, wasted, and as I'm reloading, the rest of the covey gets up.
Yep. Always. Every single.
I should not have wasted those 2 shots. I should have just waited. I knew there was going to be more. Dumb.
Sharpies, for knowing that I know their tricks, I can't believe how often that they get me on that.
Every time.
Every time.
Every stinking
It's like I
time.
know there's going to be more.
Yeah.
But the one time you don't, it's going to be the one time there's a single, you know?
Yeah.
You know it is.
And then, we refound the covey. They stayed kind of in the same area.
Yeah, we
right?
decided to work the other side of where we'd actually started.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Gunner and Penny were the ones down for this. And, they refound that covey. I think we both shot one on that, right? Or no, I shot one for sure. You thought you did, right? Because then you got the single later.
Is that when the 4 got up?
Yep.
I shot, thought I got one.
Yep. Didn't.
But missed.
Kept going.
And we kept walking.
Yeah, I shot one on that.
Yep, you did.
You keep forgetting my shots, bro.
Yeah, well, I can only keep track of so much. Oh yeah, because you shot one, and I thought I saw the one do the
dip.
Yeah, the Star Wars side maneuver, and thought I'd got
that's him
it.
dodging your boss. Size.
Yeah, because we thought that bird might have been because 4 got up.
Yep.
And then
I think more than 4 got
found,
up.
Was it?
I think more.
Yeah, it might have been.
I mean, you do have a little trouble
Because we
counting,
only
but that's
found
okay.
that single, and then I think we both shot at that one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, but and
it flew a long ways.
It flew a long ways
Before it went down.
It was hit for sure. It had been 70 yards.
Oh yeah, and Penny went and
80. Yeah.
Yep, Penny went and repointed it for some reason.
Yeah.
And I told her to get it, and she brought it right on.
Which
back.
I'm really glad because I think it was well enough where it could have ran a little bit
Oh yeah.
or something.
But I'm pretty sure it was dead when it got to us, though.
Huh?
Wasn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so-
pretty much.
So I know
that
Penny
was-
didn't crunch it. She got soft.
Yeah.
So.
No, shit, that was amazing. That was good. That was a fun start to our morning.
Yeah.
I had another good walk, but this country's been beautiful. This is, I mean, you get to live here, so
I don't take it. I don't
you get
take
to
it for
experience
granted,
this.
that's
But
for sure.
this country has been absolutely beautiful. Bird numbers, again, first time for me up here. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're saying you think it seems
I
good.
think spots are definitely better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Huns have looked great. I keep kind of bugging you. I'm saying, hey, let's go chase Huns. Let's chase Huns.
yeah, I have a lot of hunt spots, but it's like they're just, to me, they're kind of hard to focus on. So I like the Sharpie spots that I know also hold Huns.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
so.
really having like that mixed bag. Because our hunt last night, we first got into a couple Huns, remember?
Yep.
And then we even talked about last night. That got a little Western too. Remember late last night? Our last in Montana.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
That was kind of another flurry. We're like,
Yeah, because we limited it out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how we started the story. We limited it out and went over to Montana and tried to pull a double limit, but
Didn't happen.
no such luck.
But
We should have had one.
we got birds though.
Oh yeah,
We got birds.
I think I pulled 2 and you pulled a Hun.
Yeah, I
Right?
think so.
Yeah.
I didn't get any Sharpies. I had
Yep.
a Hun yesterday or last night, and that was kind of another one of those things. We had all 3 dogs on the ground: Banks, Gage, and Win, and that was just another one of those like follow the dogs wherever they go, we'll go.
Yep.
Kind of things. And that was
another one of those gauge wanders off, gets on point.
Exactly.
We're about to go back to the truck, and he leads us on another half hour, 40-minute adventure.
We'll wrap this up. But, oh, wait, no, Gage has other plans, so he's kind of rude like that. This has been fun, man. This has been a really fun 3 days only to our trip.
Yeah.
And we got 3 or 4 more days to go. So
if I could just get you to quit running, I might make it the whole week.
I thought you'd be faster, but
of all my buddies I hunt with, they're always telling me, dude, slow down. And I'm getting a taste of my own medicine.
You're saying I have long legs?
Yeah, you walk very fast.
Okay.
I never thought I'd be that guy. I'm always the fast one, and it's a weird change of pace.
You know how my wife feels now. She says the same thing to me. We're walking out in public, and she's like, can you act like we're together?
Yep. That's how I am.
I'm kind of on a mission, though. I'm on a mission up here. You only have limited time.
I know. My attitude is, there's more birds tomorrow.
Exactly. I'm like, come on, Jeremy, let's go.
Yep.
So, I think that's really all. I kind of wanted to recap the last couple days.
We're going to recap our sage grouse adventures
100%
when they come.
If people enjoy this,
right on.
I mean, if they don't, then
it's me. So
maybe. I mean, you're their first repeat guest, so.
Well, hey, there we go.
See how that goes.
Yeah, probably not good.
I mean, I might get some 1 stars.
Yeah. Sorry, bud. Just remember,
dogs,
it was your idea.
Let's talk about dogs real quick. I think they've been working really good. They've been getting dialed in.
A team and B team.
I mean,
hey, we did get to work. We win on those Sharpies.
We
too.
did. We do have an A team and a B team right now. I'm not going to tell them who that A team and B team is right now. They can guess.
But it's probably not who you think it is.
Probably not, actually. Let's leave them with a cliffhanger. They can message us and ask. But so we're kind of dialed in with like who we're running with who.
Yeah.
Rotating dogs, keeping them fresh. I mean, we're both pretty conscious of like hydration, energy levels, how they're looking.
I'm going through at least, and it hasn't been crazy hot.
No.
It's actually a pretty nice week. I've been going through at least 64 ounces for an hour walk.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And that's with typically one
That's
dog.
just dogs,
Because you're typically running one of yours at a time, right?
Yep.
I'm running one for sure, sometimes 2.
Yep.
It depends. So similar, yeah. And we've had nice breeze. Like it hasn't been crazy hot, and we're still going through water.
No.
We might be a little more just, I don't know, conscious of it for some reason. We're making sure the dogs are getting water, cooling their ears down, their bellies, their chests.
Especially Penny.
Yeah. Especially Penny. Yeah, she had a hard... Well, that first day it rained, and she had a little hard time with getting wet and cold.
Another little seizure deal.
Yeah.
So...
But that was weird. That was...
I don't think it was work or weather related. She just has them sometimes.
Yeah. But she bounced back really quick, and she had a good last 2 days. Been solid. Ran good this morning. She's been tearing it up.
Yeah, she can move. Well, that first walk, I didn't feel like it was that long, but she put on 14 miles.
Yeah. So we're walking.
We walked maybe 3, 4.
I think 4
tops.
Yeah. I think 4. So we're walking for these birds. It's not like jump out of the truck. Oh, we're hitting birds. Like
no. But when you do hit birds, it's gonna get western really quick.
Well, you have to be ready for those secondary flushes, the rest of the coveys. Like you said, you think it's like a single.
Yep.
Generally, it's not just a single. There's more.
Yep.
And you have to have your gun loaded. Whoa. Like, be ready.
Yeah, I don't remember why we didn't hunt it, but we saw Sharpies in a spot. I saw them the day before it was just in the ditch.
Yeah.
We didn't want to shoot off the road.
Yeah.
So we let your young dog go in there and kind of
work them for a little bit.
She'd go. Flash point, chase one, go 300 yards, come back. And we thought there was 3.
Yeah.
There ended up being like 8.
Oh, more than that,
Sharpies.
Probably. More than
and
that.
They all held until she come back for them.
So she would point one at a time.
Yep.
They'd flush, she'd go chase, she came back, pointed another one. And we were just standing on the side of the road watching this happen.
Yeah. It was pretty fun.
That was a turning point for me, seeing when the birds started to hold tighter.
We were watching their reaction. They picked their heads up, kind of ducked back down, and just wait. And I'm pretty sure she tripped over one on it.
Oh, she did.
She was so
close.
By like the 6th bird, she was just getting so upset. She was yip, and just
She off.
300 yards away, just
Off
trying to
chasing
get
him.
that Sharpie.
So that was good for her to get some contact, get some.
Yeah, it was fun not shooting and just watching how these birds react when there's a dog right amongst them.
Because then that night, so that happened in the afternoon.
Yep.
We let her get some good bird contacts. She got 8 bird contacts probably.
Yep. That was the morning we got skunked, right?
Yep. That night is when she had her first true point on the Huns behind Gage.
And Banks was way back in.
He was like backing like 60,
I don't
50
think
yards.
I don't think he's had a point on this trip, but he's definitely backed every single point.
Every single point he is backed, which has been so
Some
fun.
of them,
And so when she didn't back Gage, she got in the scent cone and pointed.
Yeah, behind him, but I'm pretty
great.
sure she just hit the scent cone. And, like you said,
for me, that's fantastic. Like I'm happy she got that contact.
Oh yeah,
that
she's got
experience,
prey drive. She's making progress.
That's when the Huns.
She's only
exploded.
6 months old. That Brittany?
7.
7.
7.
Same as Banks then.
Yeah, they're very, very close. And so it's been the little wins like that. Like I don't want to overlook those little things. It's not always going to be the bird on the ground. That's going to be that moment. It's going to be, hey, she got a Hun pointed. She got this. She worked this way.
Has she got any retrieves or anything? Has she had an?
No.
I don't know if she's had the opportunity.
She picked up one of the a Sharpie we had her out on.
Gauge or Gunner or some pennies.
Yeah, she dropped it. Yeah, she's not.
Yeah,
she's not super excited yet about retrieving, but. So that's been dogs. I've been really proud of them. They've put on, probably over 100 miles. Some of them have put on 100 miles probably in the 3 days.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Which is crazy. We're keeping them fed well.
Yeah, mine.
Mine
doesn't. If you see mine on the internet and you can see his ribs, believe me, Will can vouch. He eats at least 4 cups right now.
You're feeding him a lot.
Probably too much, honestly.
Yeah, but how much he's working?
A lot for his age, for sure.
So I'm keeping my dogs fed with lots of Eukanuba right now. So
yeah, me too.
Because that's what they need. They're burning a lot out here. That's really all I got. Do you have anything else you want to add? Any other learnings? Any other kind of highlights you want to share on this?
No, not really. It's been fun.
We're both tired right now.
Yeah,
we're both tired. So we're gonna go back out.
Do it again.
We're gonna go back out here. What, in a half hour? An hour?
Yep.
So we're gonna wrap this up.
As soon as you push end,
as soon as I push end, we are getting the trucks repacked again. And then we're gonna hit it again.
My truck's too disorganized for Will. It's causing him anxiety.
It's a really good way to put it. I can't say it any
He's
other
got
way.
the deck and everything's all sorted and nice. And mine's a hunting truck because I do this.
It is, exactly. And you got
every single day.
And you got cool suspenders. So
yeah, I'm obsessed with them. Really.
You're a little too obsessed with those.
I don't know how I've gone this long in life without suspenders. Belts are overrated.
It kind of goes with your stash and your wannabe mullet. So
yeah, thank you.
The
perm.
Anyways, we're gonna hit the road. Thanks for tuning into this episode. This is with Team Flusher. Sat down with them a while back, talk flushing dogs, spaniels, all that good stuff. Really fun episode. I know a lot of you are running flushing dogs out there, and I was really excited to chat with these 3 guests on this episode and get to hear their story a little bit more, get to learn about the spaniels. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. I'm not going to do an outro for this episode, so I'm going to leave you here and enjoy the episode. Take care. Jeremy, thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. I'll see you in 3 seconds.
All right.
The direction, so. All right. Is it say recording on your end?
Yeah.
Awesome.
State law in Pennsylvania is 2-party consent. So.
Nice. All right. We're good to go then. So where are you guys talking to us from?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay. In relation to Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, where you at?
Dead center of the state.
Okay, nice. So Flyers or Penguins?
Penguins.
Penguins. Is that
I don't know.
I was gonna say, is that a group decision? Because you seem very confident, Emily.
Predators.
Oh, okay. Blackhawks. So I mean, it's a little bit complicated.
Oh, okay.
But.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was good talking to you.
Yeah. We'll do it again next time.
Yeah. That's great.
Awesome. Well, guys, so we'll jump in here, but tell us a little bit about who you guys are. I know I have not done one with multiple people before, so let's give this a try and just kind of go around, share a little bit about yourself, and we'll go from there.
You want to start?
I guess I'll start. Wow. It's always a loaded. This is what happened last time all three of us talked at the same time. I got put on the spot. Somebody else started, and then I went last, and it was still awkward.
I mean, they did all kind of look at you. When,
We're off to a great start.
Wow, it's such a loaded question. Well, this is Jonathan. I don't know if I need to say that, but I will.
Oh my God.
You can edit it out.
hold on, we're gonna take it.
I can go first.
Emily, please start us off. For the love of God, please start us off well.
What happened the last time we did this?
Oh, I'm leaving all this in there too. So you guys, we're just rolling with it. I don't like editing, so we're just rolling. Okay.
I apologize to everybody.
Yeah. So I'm Emily, and I grew up in central Pennsylvania, not too far, maybe like an hour from where we're sitting right now. And Jonathan and I are married, not Cody and I, Jonathan and I. So yeah, that's me.
All right. Awesome. And just real quick, and we'll get into dogs a lot more later. Do you have any dogs that are yours, not Jonathan's, yours?
I would say that Dixie is my dog.
Okay.
I claim Dixie.
Gotcha. All right. Next.
I'm Emily's husband, Jonathan. I'm from Tennessee. If you're leaving the hockey stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
I didn't grow up doing any of this, so it's maybe I come at it from a little different perspective than these two, but I don't want to steal your thunder. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Timber's mine then, because
You said Timber?
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Cody, you're up.
Yeah, so I grew up here 30 minutes away, central Pennsylvania, my whole life. I've been hunting since I was, could stand. I am the Labrador retriever side of things at Team Flusher. So I have 2 black Labradors, Bear and Roan.
Right
and
on.
I also am the owner of the small hound side of Beagle, Lemon Beagle, coming in his 8th season.
Oh, very nice. Do you you hunt like coons and stuff with him?
I hunt rabbits with him, but I come from a family of coon hunters and rabbit hunters and general hound folks.
Very cool. Very cool. I just chatted. You guys know or heard of Brooke Lanning? She's on Instagram.
No.
She runs pointers and she has coon hounds. And we're talking about pointers most of the time, but then we got off on coon hounds and the conversation just went. It was cool. I was fascinated. So that's really cool. Emily, going back to you and Jonathan real quick. So you said you grew up hunting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So then now to Jonathan, is that how you got into hunting? We'll just kind of start there.
Yes. Like the short answer is yes. The long answer is still yes, but with like far more steps.
All right. So we'll just okay. Before we go there, I'm going to preface, people have been reaching out to me left and right, just saying they want more flushing dog content. So I'm really excited. I got 3 of you at one time here. So I'm really excited to dive in here. And the other thing is I've only hunted behind a flushing dog once. And I think I said this on a different episode maybe, but it was a blast. It was behind a yellow lab and it was like fast run and gun, like exciting. So it was very different, but different than what I'm used to. But it was a blast. So I'm excited to learn a little bit from you guys, and hopefully the listeners are excited to learn a little bit as well. So backing up to let's just start on kind of how we all got into hunting. I know, Cody, you said you grew up doing it, but I kind of want to hear more from each of you. So we'll start with Cody and Emily, Emily and Jonathan. So Jonathan, did you started, dating Emily, whatever. Was it kind of like an automatic, like, hey, you're going to start hunting, or what was that process like?
So when we got together, we were both in Tennessee, and Emily's folks live up here, and her dad is, I don't know, like probably what I would describe as kind of the quintessential like Pennsylvania sportsman. Like grew up deer hunting, small game hunting, like all the time. So when we got married, I was like, oh, well, I like being outside, so like I'll give it a shot. Like we'll see what happens. And so it was through deer hunting, and Doug's Emily's dad, he took us pheasant hunting. Pheasants are stocked in Pennsylvania. There's no wild pheasant population anymore. Unlike the mountain lions, which are that's a joke. There's no mountain lions in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask.
But I went pheasant hunting, and that's when I like fell in love with bird hunting. I thought they were wild at that point. Turns out they're not. And then from there, it's just gotten more and more like into grouse hunting, especially.
Okay. And mostly like, we're talking like woodcock in Pennsylvania, or?
Woodcock and grouse.
Okay.
That's another conversation probably about the overlapping habitat issues. And
yeah, for sure. Okay. Very cool. And Emily, just touch on, so was hunting just kind of instilled in you from a young age? Did you just kind of, following your dad around?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have an older brother who's like 2.5 years older than me. And growing up, we were inseparable. So anything that he did, I wanted to do. And I can remember like sitting at home, my dad and brother were out hunting. I remember like sitting at home waiting for them. And my dad, I had shared this story another time, but my dad tells a story that I don't remember, where he would take my brother and I out just small game hunting, and he would hook small leashes onto his belt loops, and we would hold on to the leashes as he walked through the field.
This is awesome.
And he said that most of the time he didn't even have a loaded gun. He was carrying one with him, but it was just like exposing us to it.
That is hilarious.
So I can remember like being real young and just like being in a deer blind or a turkey blind with him. And I can remember like shooting squirrels and chipmunks off the back porch kind of thing. So yeah, it's just something that I grew up doing.
That's awesome. This might be for kind of all of you, but is Pennsylvania, is it known for its hunting culture, or is it just very localized?
No, it's almost along kind of, you can think of it sort of as the Midwestern states, Michigan, Wisconsin, deeply ingrained hunting culture from, state line to state line. Everybody hunts. Our schools have off traditionally.
Really?
The first 2 days of our whitetail deer rifle season.
Okay. So the statewide generally takes it pretty serious then.
Yeah. Our whitetail season structure is a little different now, but when we were growing up, it started on Monday and Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and there wasn't a school in the state that went to school those 2 days.
That's cool. I did not know that. And again, when I think of Pennsylvania, I think just of those, big cities, and, hunting's not really big there, but I mean, it's a big state.
Yes. There's like 500,000 acres of public land. Like,
really?
In the state.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's about right. 500,000.
There's a lot.
It's got to be more than that.
So is it like a walk-in access kind of program that we have here in like the West? So is it private land, but it's leased by the states that and then release it to public?
No, our Pennsylvania is way behind you guys in those sort of programs. All of our public land is centered around, really broadly speaking, state game lands, which are generally owned by the Pennsylvania Game Commission, which is like our Colorado Parks and Wildlife or whatever. And those are scattered throughout the state. Some are very small, some are very large. And then this state forest, which is operated by a different state agency.
Gotcha.
And that is generally all of our higher elevation mountains. For the most part, all of our state forest lands are mountainous.
Yeah, actually, like where we're sitting right now, we're pretty much surrounded by a few thousand acres of state forest.
Oh wow, very cool. That's awesome. I didn't know. I didn't know you guys had that much, public access. That's really cool. All right, Cody, let's finish up with you just on, again, I know you mentioned you grew up hunting, but just expand on that a little bit more.
I grew up, like I said, my father and grandfathers raised and bred beagles and coonhounds. My grandfather also ran setters for grouse. That was before my time. I don't remember him ever having a setter, but our big thing, there was two things like growing up: archery whitetail archery and hunting rabbits with beagles. Yes. My family did everything. We hunted everything. We fished. I mean, it was, that's just how.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So let's talk about this past season a little bit for you then. Just, give me a quick recap. Did you guys mostly stay in PA? What was that like? Did you travel? Tell me, let's get into a little bit of the species that you guys hunt.
So, you want me to start?
Yeah.
So, season for us, our season kind of starts in September with doves and goose. I'm a resident waterfowl hunter as well. So, we got things rolling in September with doves and geese. Then that rolls into archery season. And then our pheasant and waterfowl seasons really get rolling kind of in the middle, and grouse in the middle of October. And I actually missed the opener because I was in Colorado hunting elk.
Oh, nice. Nice. Successful?
Yeah, I killed a bull the first day and a mule deer buck the last day.
Congrats. Nice, man. Both archery?
No, that was second rifle season, the end of October.
Very cool.
So that was the only out-of-state stuff that I think any of us did, right?
Gotcha. Okay. And Cody, I'm guessing you have the lab because you do a lot of waterfowl, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, lots of waterfowl. Waterfowl takes us all the way into February. So.
Oh, nice. You got a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
That's great. How about you guys? What was your season like last year?
We hunt land that's only like 10 minutes from here as far as pheasants go. And Jonathan mentioned all of our pheasants are stocked.
Sure.
So because of my work schedule, I can get out a lot more than he can. So I often just like put Dixie in the truck and we head out in the morning or afternoon. So we got out a lot. I'll let you talk about grouse. But yeah, I honestly, I only ever hit up the one field because
this is convenient.
I know that they're there. Yeah. It's like, we have joked around before. It's kind of like for us in a way, like going to the grocery store. It's closer than the grocery store.
Hey, the freezer's empty. What do we need?
Yeah. We all live pretty far out from town. And so I'm not going to lie. There have definitely been days that have been like, what are we going to have for dinner? And just like go hunting for it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll let you talk about
That's
grouse.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Without telling the entire story of like grouse conservation in Pennsylvania, to get.
We got time. If you want to expand on it at all, you can.
Well, I love an invitation to talk. So grouse numbers in Pennsylvania have declined precipitously since West Nile in the early 2000s.
And sorry, we're talking just rough grouse?
Yeah, just rough grouse. And this is kind of when I made that statement about overlapping habitat issues for grouse and woodcock. Cody and I have talked about this at length. And I will speak for him. And if I misstate this, just correct me. He has told me when he was a kid, you could find grouse in very lowland areas where you would also traditionally find woodcock. Like you could reasonably hunt woodcock and grouse at the same time. I'm not sure. I mean, and there might be folks out there that hunt Pennsylvania and hunt different parts of Pennsylvania that have better luck with that than I have personally had. I've never flushed a grouse and a woodcock on the same trip. For grouse, we have to travel a little ways, which also makes those pheasant fields awfully convenient. The heightened elevation, based on my understanding, is helpful in keeping mosquito populations lower because it stays colder longer and mosquitoes don't like cold places.
Sure.
Crazy stuff. So we got out a number of times for grouse. Weren't incredibly successful, but we're talking not a super high density of birds as well.
Okay. So you're basically saying over the last how many years has the grouse population really gone down? We're talking 5, 10?
Well, it's been in decline for what, 30, 40 years?
Yeah.
And then in the last 20 years, especially flush rates.
We have a lot of habitat issues. Our state forest lands are not managed. Kind of, and this is a northeastern issue. Anybody, in New York, Vermont, the whole way up through.
It's kind of similar issues that they're all facing.
Yeah. Our timber's too old, habitat's suffering. And then you throw West Nile and stuff like that, on top of it. Our grouse are not. It is true, like going back to what Jonathan said, my grandfather and even my father, to an extent, they would shoot pheasants and ruffed grouse, on the same day in the same places.
Wild pheasants.
Sometimes wild pheasants. Then.
Wow.
And in the generations and years since then, well, our wild pheasants are gone. Bob white. My great grandfather hunted bob white quail. They're gone. Nobody's seen a wild bob white in Pennsylvania in a very long time.
Wow. So is the so like with pheasants? So there used to be wild pheasant. There's not anymore. They basically stock them, release them. What kind of similar issue with habitat then? The habitat's not just made for game birds, basically.
When we lost our fence rows, we lost our pheasants. When those farming practices came along, that was the end of pheasants in Pennsylvania and self-sustaining pheasant populations, anyways.
Gotcha. That's tough. And this is kind of a weird question. Would West Nile, would that also affect the pheasants as well as it does the ruffed grouse, or just different?
I don't know, because it happened so long ago. I mean, I remember running into wild pheasants occasionally, hunting rabbits. I mean, we killed pheasants off of our beagles when I was a kid, many times. It was pretty rare then, and now it's they're
kind of unheard of.
I was gonna say, I think probably for our dads, they knew wild pheasant populations.
Yeah. So
it happened in a generation.
Yeah. It was also really hard for them because now the stalking program takes place only on our state game lands. Back then, it took place on game lands and private land. So wild populations were being supplemented with stock populations, and then one day everybody woke up and our wild pheasants were no more.
Jeez. Well, would you say it's a true statement? Does your, again, I don't know what it's called, Game and Fish or whoever it is that manages these lands, are they just more focused on like white-tailed deer than the birds, or
white-tailed deer
that keeps the lights on?
White-tailed deer, yeah. The Orange Army cares about white-tailed deer, so
it brings in the money. So
that's what game managers care about. Yeah,
totally. To some degree, I definitely believe that's true in Colorado. I mean, Colorado, the money is coming from the mule deer, the elk, and some of the other, moose, things like that. Game birds are just, a license for a resident's like $39. And so, it's just not, they're here. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of different species. We have I think 10 species of game birds.
Yeah.
But they're just very kind of like isolated small pockets. So doable, but it's just not super popular, which is a little frustrating.
There is one area in Pennsylvania that has a wild pheasant population, but it's heavily managed. Yeah. And every year it's a lottery, right? Just for youth specifically. Yeah. Only youth can hunt it. And like I said, it's on a lottery. So there is one area, and they had tried.
There used to be more.
They had tried other places, and then they just kind of were like, you know what?
Yeah.
Change gears.
Yeah. That's
there's
tough.
a couple of I'm probably the reckless optimist in the room. This is another extensive conversation that we've had. One, the ruffed grouse is the state bird of Pennsylvania. So it would be really awkward to have a state bird that was extirpated from your state.
Oh, I didn't know that.
With that, we know that cover is good for all sorts of animals, including deer. And so putting trees on the ground in a scientific and systematic way is going to benefit all of those populations.
Multiple species. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to take time.
Sure.
Because turkeys are a wild success story here, but they're also not in great shape right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Come to Pennsylvania.
Let's. So guys, I had a trip to Pennsylvania scheduled, but man, let's turn a corner here. I'm not gonna lie. Cody's done. He's like, okay. I think I had this question later on actually, and I guess it's kind of an appropriate time to ask now. Can you hunt? Okay, because ruffed grouse, I imagine, are they in trees and on the ground? Kind of depends, right?
Yeah, kind of depends. I
Ish.
flushed a couple out of trees this year.
Okay. How do you hunt them with a flushing dog then? Give me the lowdown.
I mean,
Like if they're in a tree. If they're in a tree.
well, the dog's pressure still puts them up.
Okay.
Both of the one, like Dixie flushed 2 this year out of a tree.
Oh, nice.
And it was nose on the ground, following. And then the bird just blew up out of the tree when she got to the tree. So
Very cool. That's awesome. Well, let's get into your dogs. So you guys have mentioned Dixie, another one, and then your labs. Let's start with, is it Springers?
Yep.
All right, let's start with your Springers. Give me what makes these dogs special?
Do you want to talk about your dog?
Yeah. Well, so I grew up with Springers, and I think that's naturally how we got into them as well. When we got Dixie is 7, and I call her a farm dog. When we got her, honestly, we were just looking for like our first dog. And so I had recently moved back to Pennsylvania. Jonathan hadn't been hunting yet. And I knew that I wanted a hunting dog. Where we live, the environment we live in, they're outside all the time. They're around kids and adults. And we knew that they have to have like a good temperament. So that's kind of how I landed on a Springer. And I just, I did a Google search and I found her. And I think Timber is a different story. We got Dixie as a hunting breed, but mainly as a companion who has turned out to be a good hunting dog. Okay. And we got Timber knowing that we wanted to use her as a hunting dog.
Gotcha.
So Dixie she's more of a bench line, which Jonathan, I know, will love to go into. I'll throw Timber to him here in a minute. But so she's pretty big for a Springer. She's a dock tail. But yeah, she's a...
Is that Timber? Okay, that's Timber. Okay.
I don't think I could lift Dixie up right now. Dixie is like your average female Springer size, maybe a little bit bigger as far as weight. She's like around 50 pounds.
Okay. And so you're saying, so Dixie didn't come from necessarily a hunting line. You more so got her, hey, you knew you wanted a Springer. Okay. Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So a long time ago, Springer lines were split. There hasn't been a dual champion, like field trial champion and like bench show champion. I don't want to estimate how long, but it's been a long time. Bench Springers tend to be bigger and like stockier.
And sorry, what's a bench Springer?
Like a show dog, like show.
Gotcha.
The line's split between like field lines and show lines.
Gotcha.
The show lines, the tails are docked at a quarter usually. Field lines are left, I want to say like 2/3 to 3/4 length. Field dogs have like coarser hair. So Dixie's feathering is like super fine. Timber's is not quite as fine.
Gotcha.
Field dogs are also like a little bit smaller usually. So if Dixie weighs 50 pounds, like I don't remember how much Dixie weighed when she was almost a year old, but they tend to be a little bit smaller. And Timber is of field lines. So she has longer tail.
Gotcha. So did you kind of have a breeder you knew about, or did you just kind of do your research when you were picking out Timber?
Just did a lot of research, read a lot of stuff, contacted people, called people, got calls back, didn't get calls back.
Okay, cool. And you guys, did you just know at the time you wanted a second Springer? You wanted to, you love the breed, you knew enough about them, or did you ever consider a lab or another kind of a dog like that?
No, I mean, we were pretty set on Springers. We wanted to be able to get out more, and having one dog is great, but it's also kind of nice if that dog needs to rest to be able to go run another dog. So
totally agree. Totally agree. That's awesome. Cody, let's talk about your lab.
So I have, like I said, 2 labs. I actually have a father and son. My older lab is 5. This will be his 5th season. He'll turn 5 in November. Okay. And I actually got, like I said, came from the hound side of things, and I started waterfowl hunting close to a decade ago, and got into it, and it was like kind of quickly, like we're gonna need a dog. I started looking for a bird dog from the from the waterfowl side of things. So obviously Labradors were, pretty high up on my short list. And I actually spent almost a year and a half trying to find a good gun dog line of Labradors.
Okay. Just take some time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you can't throw a rock without hitting a lab, but a lab that, the kind of lab that I was looking for is just, it was surprisingly difficult.
Are they British labs or American labs? Or
no, I run American labs.
Okay.
Not that I have anything against British labs.
Yeah. What are you saying about the British?
But both of mine are from American lines for now.
Okay. And do you dual hunt them? Do you hunt at waterfowl and upland with them?
Yeah. I mean, once I got him, trained him, it was a hop, skip, and a jump to start doing the upland thing too, which I'd always done. I always hunted pheasants, always hunted grouse. But having him was like, okay, let's get after this too, because I got him. Why not?
Yeah.
And that's the other reason I picked a lab, because I wanted something that, I could do everything with.
Yeah. Good versatility.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that?
Back to the this is a fun one. Back to the springers a little bit. I guess the lab too. Just talk a little bit about do you guys train these dogs yourself, and what's that process like as far as like training a flushing dog? How involved were you guys? And we'll kind of go down that road for a sec.
So Dixie, I think going back to kind of why we got Dixie was more for like her temperament. It was a breed that I was used to. I know I wanted a hunting dog, but wasn't sure. We didn't get her thinking we're going to hunt her and this is how. So did we train her? No. We really relied on her just natural instinct. And so it has been, I would say, like during COVID actually is when Dixie at 6 got most of her training.
Oh, nice.
So she has a really natural drive. And even before we trained her, she was a good bird dog. And I would say now she's even better, just based on the fact that she will pick the birds up and bring them to us now.
Okay.
Nice. Which is one of the reasons that hunting a retriever with Dixie specifically was such a match made in heaven, because Bear would pick them up and bring them to us. And Dixie's all about putting birds in the air.
Okay.
Always has been.
And so, that part, putting birds in the air with a flushing dog, what's like, again, what train, either timber, I don't care what dog it is, like how do you work on that part with a flushing dog? Because pointing dogs, it's all about getting them stopped, and then we flush the bird or something like that. But what's that process like with a flusher?
So we spend an inordinate amount of time on control, basic obedience, keeping them close, casting into cover and stuff like that, teaching them how to work cover. And then as far as putting birds up, that's just genetic. It's more controlling that. They're going to do it. Okay. The training is controlling where they are, how far they are. A flushing dog that's putting birds up at 80 yards is totally useless. That's like a pointer that's bumping birds.
Yeah.
It's
like a pointing dog who thinks they're a flushing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not good.
So it's a whole lot of obedience. Really, it's a whole lot of just keeping that under control, and then letting them do what they were.
Yeah, letting that natural instinct kick in for the putting the birds in the air.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
With Dixie and Timber, one of the distinctions as well between bench and field dogs is field dogs obviously are going to be bred more for those like desirable field characteristics. So Dixie's prey drive is like fantastic. Her desire to pick things up is kind of like,
if I have to.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. So we worked on that a lot. And I think that's really brought her for full circle, because she retrieved a number of like crippled birds this year that
I face unique problems with training too, because my dogs are dual waterfowl upland dogs. So there's some things there that are, very different, and having them, I mean, there's plenty of days we'll go shoot ducks in the morning and then we're hunting pheasants or grouse in the evening, and having them be able to switch back and forth. I spend a lot of time training on that kind of stuff because that's not necessarily natural.
Yeah. And like you said, those are just very different. Like in a duck blind, it's just a lot of patience and waiting and being quiet and obedience.
Yeah.
But then you might need to have them make a, 80-yard, blind retrieve. So
yeah,
that's pretty badass for sure. Talk about timber a little bit, and even both the springers, like when you're out in the uplands with them hunting, again, whether it's grouse or whatnot, are they like, what's their range? Are they working like, we talking 5-10 yards in front of you? Or are they a little further? How are they working?
Dixie, it kind of depends on the cover, and it depends on what the bird's doing. If we're hunting pheasants, our game lands are manicured in such a way that there's some pretty hard, long, narrow, like just real edges of cover that can run. Some of those fields are 200 yards or more long. And so, I mean, if you're walking the edge, you'll watch a rooster just bail out the side, take off, and run back in. And that's where that control comes in a lot of, like, it is required. If we're hunting grouse in like real unbroken cover, it's learning that like the bird is going to behave in a certain way. My experience has been that the grouse tend to circle and pin themselves. And so she'll push. It's almost like hunting rabbits, except rabbits don't fly.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Pro tip for everybody. That one's free. And so being like watching her, you never know when the bird's going to go up, obviously. So being mindful of how that curve is going to happen. And you don't really know. I mean, you don't know where she's picking up where the bird is at. So it really could happen wherever, but she stays 25, 30? Like
you do know when they are on a bird.
Sure, like when they're a birdie.
So they're not going to point for us, but in their actions, like when we're out, it is not uncommon for us to say, Bear, he's really birdie, he's really on something. And so then, it's kind of up to us then to keep up after them a little bit. So you do still get, and that's one of the things too, I think it takes like a season or two maybe. So we haven't taken Timber out yet. She's not a year old yet.
Oh, okay.
And so it might take us a season to pick up on her kind of signal habits of when she's on something. But sure. Dixie will start running like tighter. She gets very frantic. Jonathan phrased it as like really chaotic.
Okay. When she's close.
Yeah. So her corners get a lot shorter. She blows her nose a lot.
Okay.
I have a hard time actually picking up on Bear's signals.
It's just a little more subdued.
Yeah.
Is he just a little more mellow in his cues, you're saying?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but he also, because he's a retriever and they're so visual, he lifts his head a lot. I can tell. Like,
oh yeah.
He's head low, those good hard flushes when they're, holding real tight, and he'll start picking his head up. That bird is bouncing right in front of him 90% of the time.
If we want to talk about pro tips, I think a good thing here, just for anyone listening, is reading your dog's body language. I think that's key, no matter what breed you have, and even if you have the same breed, dog to dog are going to change. Because I know my Brittany's kind of similar. They get a little visually, they get lower to the ground. I don't know how they do it, but like their back drops maybe an inch and a half. And I just know that they're about to go on point, and that's kind of that cue. Okay, 2 hands on the gun, get ready, because they're about to go on point. But I think that's a key. Even whether it's flushing dogs or whatnot, that they're all going to have a different cue.
I think that's what's cool too about like hunting with other people's flushing dogs is I know Jonathan can pick up on Bear signals better than I can. So it's like you were saying, every dog is different. Yeah. But of course they're not going to give us that hard and fast stop. Sometimes they might. They
do sometimes. Yeah. You'll get a flash point out of them.
Okay.
And they're normally like it's enough to be like, ooh, and then there's a bird in the air.
That's what makes it exciting, probably too, right? Because it's that
it is
like, you don't know.
Why did you stop?
It's very much like you'll hear me, you know, we all say this. You'll hear, you know, on the dog. You know, especially if there's somebody with us that's not, you never hunted over a dog or never hunted over a fleshy dog. I don't, you know, that's back to the range thing. My labs operate at 15 to 25 yards, depending on the cover. It may be out 30 max. If they're getting that far out, I'm probably on the whistle.
Man, okay, that's so nice.
I'm slow.
I'm looking at the GPS. All my dog's like, oh, like 250. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, and the downside to that is we don't cover the kind of ground that you guys do.
Sure.
You know, of course. But yeah, with retrievers especially, and springers have a great retrieve drive too. But any individual dog with a good retrieve drive eventually puts it together. They want that bird just as bad as what you want what we want the bird.
Sure.
And they want to pick it up. And after they flush a couple birds out of gun range and there's no crack and they don't get to pick anything up, they kind of start to, you know, like, oh boy,
kind of rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, I better shorten this up a little bit if I want to bird feathers in my mouth at some point.
That bird is the reward.
Yeah.
That range question's complicated too, though, because we've both seen Bear and Dixie push out 40 yards.
And then button hook birds back.
Yeah, and then bump birds back to their dog back towards us, and the bird goes up between us and them.
They pinch a lot of birds together. Like you almost never see them on a bird side by side. If one of them hits a bird, the other one will flank it, and they put birds up like, especially roosters or runners. I mean,
yeah, that's pretty brilliant. If they can work in tandem like that to
they
kind of pin that.
They do that with grouse sometimes too. Grouse, it's harder to see them do it with grouse because the nature of the cover is so thick.
Yeah. That's awesome. Are you guys hunting, would you say 50-50 split between pheasants and grouse, or what's kind of besides your waterfowl?
I probably hunt more pheasants, but that's also the other thing is, like Jonathan had touched on earlier. Like I had a brood of grouse at my house in the woods behind my house last summer.
You got some pet grouse?
Yeah. Well, they didn't like once the dogs found them, they didn't like it. But the grouse hunting in our immediate area should be fantastic, and was when I was a kid, but is not really anymore. Okay. So those evening hunts, we just don't. We're going to hunt pheasants,
sure,
because it's 2 minutes away.
Yeah, it's convenient. It's nice.
Versus 2 to 4 hours to get to the northern tier of Pennsylvania and get into house hunting.
Wow.
So just by the fact that we spend quite a bit of time pheasant hunting, but Saturdays and any time that we can dedicate the time to driving the necessary, and we do hunt grouse close to home when we can.
Yeah,
sure. What's the closest, like, what would be around your area or around Pennsylvania? Like, what's your next closest, like, destination hunt? Where would you go?
Trying to haunt spot us right now.
Yeah, give me the town and the zip code, please.
Here, I'll just
probably New York.
Yeah,
really.
The grouse and woodcock hunting in upstate New York is especially in the Adirondacks and up through there, that's probably the closest place you would want to drive to. Ohio's grouse are kind of having some trouble. I don't know that I'd drive to Ohio.
I don't know if I would drive to Ohio, period. No offense. No offense.
On the waterfowl side of things, of course, Chesapeake Bay, Maryland. But Upland, New York, Vermont, and up through New Hampshire.
I think some of those places you still have to drive. But.
As far as grouse and woodcock.
Very cool. Hey, so how this Team Flusher thing came about, and who does most of the social posts?
We actually we met through a family member of mine, and then actually he had told us a couple times, "Oh, hey, you should talk to Jonathan. He has a bird dog." And I thought at the time he had a pointer, so I didn't want anything to do with it.
You're like, no, we're good.
No, I knew he had springers. And actually, I think I think we actually just, the first time we ever talked was on social media, and just we shot Sporting Clays the next day, and
drove up listening to the same Tyler Childers song.
Yeah.
It's a match made in heaven. I don't even know why I'm here at this point.
That's perfect. You have to do something together then.
Yeah.
I feel like Jonathan came home one night after he hung out with Cody and said something about this whole like Team Flusher concept. And then we went out.
I tagged something in social media with Team Flusher when we hunted them together.
Yeah. And then we went out to dinner that night and we're just kind of talking about it. And literally we're like writing things down on a napkin. And like, I was like drawing out a sketch of what our logo could look like.
Nice.
And it kind of started.
It's all about the logo. Come on, let's be real. It's all about the logo.
That's where we started.
You guys have a killer logo too. Nice job.
Jonathan said, he was like, I think it'd be cool to start this. And like, if I could someday get a hat out of it, like a hat with the logo on it, that'd be awesome. And I think it really started as like a social media thing because there's not a lot of stuff of flushing dogs out there. Yeah. You can buy a sticker that has a generic pointing dog on it, but there's just not.
There's a lot of Labrador stuff.
A lot of labs with ducks and waterfowl, but just not a lot of flushing kind of stuff. So that's kind of where it started. I'm typically the one taking pictures, only because I think of it. And and then Jonathan's pretty much the one who like spends time on the account. So he's usually the ones like doing
he's your brand manager.
Yeah. Chatting with people.
Making deals.
Yeah.
I'm a child of the internet. I can't
Cody, are you sad that the logo is not a lab?
We're working on that. There's one in the works.
Yeah, there's in process.
We're trying.
You're gonna expand a little bit.
Yeah, I have so much fun hunting over springers, though. It really doesn't bother me. So
that's awesome. They sound like great dogs. Have you guys talked to Adam? He lives out here in Colorado. Tang something. Yeah. Adam, I'm sorry I butchered your last name, but Tangrood or something. I know he runs.
I definitely don't think that's it.
It's Tang something. It's like okay, you know what I'm talking about, Adam. I'm so sorry. But I know he runs a big Springer guy, and he's got some good content for sure. Well, guys, talk to the new upland hunter out there. The person who's listening who maybe is going into their first season. What's some advice you might give them? Maybe they just picked up their first bird dog. What's something you would tell them? And I want to hear from each of you, actually.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I think my thing would be like, go easy on yourself. Like depending on where you live, like comparing like wherever you live to like the Upper Peninsula's grouse population might not be a fair comparison. So like if all your pictures aren't just like tailgates full of grouse, like that's okay. Like be patient with yourself, be patient with your dog, get to know your dog. Like the time you spend in the field with your dog without frustration is going to be like the memories you take with you. And that's going to be regardless of how many, like the birds are just like the icing on the cake.
That's really good.
I'll put that in the front of my memoir.
Hey, actually, Jonathan, I actually want to kind of poke at you a little bit more on that. What was that process like for you? So, you gave that as advice to someone. Like, how long did it take you to figure that concept out for yourself personally?
I still figure it out.
Okay.
Because there's still, like, we all have bad days. And when I say we, like, I mean the dogs too. There's days Dixie goes out and I'm like, who are you? Like, what, where did you go? Like, what, like, are you on something? Do we need to talk?
Yeah.
Because she just forgets herself, or I don't know, she just has these moments, and like we all do, right? And so there's days I go out after like a day of work where I like get frustrated with myself because I miss all the shots I did take.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think that if we wanted to get real philosophical about hunting, like it takes us places and asks things of us that we might not normally ask of ourselves, or at least not in that context.
Well put.
Chapter 1 of my.
All right. Hey, you heard it here first, people.
I feel like the most like practical piece of advice that I would give is just to kind of, and Jonathan touched on it a little bit, but like learn your dog and then trust your dog. I know the first season, I'd say that we took Dixie out. I think what messed me up more than anything was thinking that I knew better than her nose. And there are days now that I go out and I might have a plan of where I want to go and I just follow her because she knows where those birds are. I have an idea of where they are based on cover and past experience, but she knows where they are. I think the other thing, just as like a practical perspective, is I know that social media is rich with Upland content, which I think is awesome.
Sure.
I think too, like, it can be really intimidating to think, like, as far as gear goes, even. Like, I don't know, I spent most of my years growing up hunting in hand-me-downs from men in my family. So nothing fit.
Sure.
And still things that I have don't fit. And so I think just kind of like, you don't have to have like the latest and greatest and the best, and you can have the hand-me-downs and the boots and the jeans, like who cares? So I think just from like that perspective too of, it's really just like going on a walk with your dog with a gun.
Honestly, you are so right. When you boil it down, it's going on a walk in the woods with your dog, and you might have a shotgun. Like that's that's cool. That's really, really good. Cody, bring us home.
So I would say, I know one of my fears when I got my first bird dog, especially, was that I was going to do a thing and the whole thing was, I was going to ruin. You know what I mean? Like, if I make a mistake, this dog will, you know.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Yeah,
when I got my first one, it took me a year, 2 years to get over that.
I think everybody deals with that feeling. And then honestly, and I'm not pointing fingers, it's a great thing. But you get on the internet or social media and it's one article after another of how to do this and how to do that. And that's all great. But it left me with this anxiety of like, if I don't do this right, or, you know, if I don't follow these steps perfectly, I'm going to. And really, that's, especially if you do your homework and you got a dog from a good line and you have a gun dog, I think it's actually, maybe there might be people yelling at the radio right now. I think it's kind of hard to screw them up. You know what I mean? There's a couple sticking points. You want to make sure you get gun introduction right, stuff like that. But outside of those sort of things, just do it and have fun doing it. And you're going to make mistakes. It's going to be fine. You're not going to turn this dog into a scared couch potato because you didn't run a casting drill right.
Casting is important, but
it is.
No, you are so right. I think, and the other thing too is there's multiple ways to get the same results. There's not one way. You have to train your lab like this, or you have to train. There's different methods to get your dog there, and I think people need to realize too. Just you can do a hybrid. A lot of guys I talk to and people I talk to, hey, we tried this from this method. We tried this from this area and it works for me. It works for my dog. And so I think that's some really good advice right there.
Yeah. And I'll use my labs as an example. What worked for my 5-year-old, nowhere close to working for this young dog, so then down the road, those different methods and different ideas become useful because you may find yourself in a situation, if you stick with it, where that's going to become important. And just do it and have fun doing it, and enjoy your dog.
That's awesome. All right, friends. Well, we're going to end this in a rapid fire section. So couple quick answers. Get ready. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. This is not sponsored by the movie, by the way. All right. What gun are you all carrying out into the uplands?
I'm carrying a CZ Bobwhite 20 gauge, and I also have a 1950 Sweet 16 A5.
Okay. And how about waterfowl for you?
Benelli.
Which Benelli?
Vinci.
Oh, okay, nice. I haven't heard of that one actually. I have a Benelli Supernova pump and a Montefeltro.
Yeah, I run a Supernova 20 gauge for waterfowl as well.
Okay, very nice. Emily.
I've got a 20 gauge Beretta 686.
Okay, nice.
I did practice that because I don't know. It's a gun that fits me.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yes. I bought it off my dad, and earlier I read like the questions that you sent, and I was like, Jonathan, what's the gun? What gun do I have?
Yes.
I know it's a Beretta. And he said it to me multiple times, and I said it back to him multiple times.
Hey, way to be prepared. Honestly,
Yeah,
way to go. I mean, some people are like, let me go look in the gun safe.
Yeah, that would have been me if you hadn't
All right.
said those.
Well, yeah, it's okay. Jonathan, I just got to say, hold on here. I know you're ready to give me your answer. Please tell me you're going to continue. We have two 20 gaugers over here.
Yeah.
Are you 20 gauge?
Yeah, it's a 1954 20 gauge Browning superposed. And I just picked up a 20 gauge Ithaca Flues from the Goodyear 1919. Haven't even shot yet because I couldn't get
Wow.
ammo for it. So
You're shooting some old guns.
yeah, I grew up with like a grandmother that took me to antique stores, so that's a different.
Oh, Jonathan, I feel we need to do like a separate podcast with just you. Just there's
Talk about my
so
man.
much untapped potential there. There's just so much. All right, we're moving on here. Favorite breed for you two, Jonathan and Emily. Favorite dog breed besides the Springer or the Lab? You cannot say Lab either.
Cocker Spaniels.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
a strong choice.
Cockers are so hot right now.
They are.
They are very popular. They're all the rage. Emily, are you agreeing with that decision?
You know, I know nothing about them, but I do like the look of an English setter.
Okay. Yeah. They're cool.
Yeah, they look
Yeah.
very beautiful. So
Yeah. Someone told me I was talking with a buddy of mine and I said they look like a wet homeless person and he thinks they look like royalty. So we're just very, very different. He's like, oh, I think they look like fancy dogs.
That I'm very into. So that's obviously why I'm drawn to.
Yeah, totally. Cody.
I want to draw it.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Did you guys see the National Spelling Bee? The kid had to spell Drotar.
That's amazing.
Did he get it?
So, no, he didn't actually. He missed the H, I think.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how to spell it, but this little 12-year-old.
Got an H in the middle of it somewhere.
Yeah, I think he said it was an A or something. I can't believe that kid. All right. Favorite bird species to hunt? I think I know all your answers, but quickly go.
Grouse. Ruffed grouse.
Yeah, I would say grouse.
Okay.
Wild pheasants or big fat mallards.
Which one, Cody? Which one?
Pheasants. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Pheasants.
Very nice. I already know. I'm going to skip question D. We're going to question E. Beverage of choice after a hunt.
How bougie are we getting?
This is anywhere on your scale. So I'm a Coors Banquet guy, but
Okay.
I've had people say Scotch. Someone said vodka the other day. I don't know who's bringing vodka out in the field, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I usually have a Coors Light and like single malt Scotch, like sitting side by side.
Okay.
This was a COVID thing that happened. It was a wild time. Wild time over here.
All right.
There's a Pennsylvania cidery. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Cider?
Like hard cider?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
It's called Jack's Hard Cider, and they make a couple different blends. So
Nice.
one of those.
Drinking that local stuff. That's good. Gotta support PA.
Speaking of that, Yingling.
Okay. Very nice. It's awesome.
Shocked that nobody said that.
Yeah.
I'm not a friend.
Yeah, all right. That's a Pennsylvania beer. I should have said that.
Okay. That's okay. I acted like I knew what it was. So it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't
You got-
walk by saying Yingling, though. You just say lager.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, if you walk into a bar and order a lager, it will be a Yingling.
Okay, good to know. Hey, how can people stay in touch with you guys? Keep up with your social media. What's the best way for them to stay in touch?
If you go to the Team Flusher account, which is @Team Flusher, all three of us are linked in the profile.
Ooh, Do you guys all have your own profile or your own?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just like our personal ones.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I'll have to go check that out. You guys are putting up some cool content. Really, really enjoying it. And it's been fun. I definitely learned some more about flushing dogs. Again, Jonathan, we're going to have to schedule another episode, pick your brain a little more. You two, this is awesome.
Yes, we're lame. So
No, this was good. What are you guys? It's kind of a bonus thing. What are you working on this summer with your dogs right now? Just lab springers. What are you guys kind of working on?
Try not to have a heat stroke currently.
Yeah.
It's basically the goal. The heat index
good
here is
advice.
like 105 for the next 3 days.
Jeez.
So I don't know. We might go swim later tomorrow, not today, because it's almost 9 o'clock here.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I foresee water in the future.
We had a lot of stuff to do with 2 young dogs. So the rest of the summer, we're going to be doing gun intro, bird intro, some basic duck dog stuff with my young lab. But yeah, we're going to be busy. We got two up and comers. So
That's exciting. This is going to be a heck of a season for you guys.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome. And when does your season open officially for pheasant?
Pheasant it's usually the 3rd Saturday in October, and grouse is the weekend before that. So
Okay. And then is waterfowl September?
our early goose season starts in September, and then we have a week-long duck split in October as well. That coincides with the beginning of grouse season.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
You can tell he really read the book.
Yeah. He studied. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. This was a blast, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with your dogs this summer and getting them ready for season. So
thank you.
Thank you.
awesome. Appreciate your time, guys. You take care.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.